A lot of us thought that cheating would be cracked down, or Microsoft in particular were cracking down on the cheating problem that in-game and in general has, more specifically Xbox, because obviously Microsoft is tailored towards that. And then there was a lot of us that were like, you need to grow up, this isn't going to change anytime soon. And I tried to stay on the fence. I tried to be hopeful that this could be the thing, a bit of hope that we've been wanting to have for the last couple of, let's say years, because cheating has been a thing for years on console, and it just wasn't. It wasn't anything to do with that. I'm going to run down what it was for anyone that thought it was just Zim and Zen. I've always said that this wasn't specifically for Zim and Zen. However, if they were able to detect it for whatever reason, then Zim and Zen would fall under the category of banned devices or banned accessories that Microsoft was going to impede on. So right now it's November 14th, 2023, and we had been told by various news sources and articles talking about how Microsoft was going to be cracking down on the accessories that you're able to use within your console and playing games. Now, we all thought this was, monitored towards Zim and Zen, but it wasn't. And there was a lot of us that knew it wasn't, including myself, and I made videos about that. Basically, the Xbox Partner Program has been something that people have been talking about in terms of articles, and what it basically is that they're kind of just cutting out all the third-party devices or third-party accessories, any controllers that are really cheaply made, let's say from China. They're now going to be cut out the equation, and basically Microsoft are licensing all these products within the Xbox Partner Program to only be the accessories or controllers that you can use. Now, this has nothing to do with Zim or Zen. A lot of people liked to cope and say it was going to work, and like to cope that say it wasn't going to work because they were cheating and they just wanted to think, oh, it's never going to stop. Well, good news for them. It doesn't look like it's going to be ending any time soon. You would have thought an update like this would be the thing that Microsoft has to stop the problem they've got within their consoles. But let's put it this way. It's all down to money, as well as it's all down to if they can detect the device. Siege can. So what makes Ubisoft so special, and that Microsoft can't do the same, even with Zim, the Zim technology? Why can't Microsoft gain intel and data from Ubisoft's point of view and then do their own kind of thing, because they have a lot of money, and I'm sure they have a lot of big brains in that company that can source and get these devices out of our community. However, it's just not been the case. It's not been the case, and let's be honest, they're not going to ban people on Zim and Zen unless it is clear. But it's more down to the game developers of the games you're playing rather than Microsoft and Sony. Now, that was the last straw for me, that I had hoped this game could somewhat be saved, or in this case, gaming community on consoles could be saved. It's not going to be saved. I don't see it stopping anytime soon. That's the harsh reality of it. And the games you're playing, you've basically got to look to the game developers and voice your opinions where you can to be like, this needs to stop. And in this case, for Rust Console, community servers and admins is the way to go for that. However, I'm not totally convinced this is going to 100% help, and it was never really meant to 100% help. It was just to try and get a hold of the problem that this game has, the rising problem, may I add, that Rust Console has in the people investing in devices. When they see people not being banned, they go and do it themselves. And as I mentioned, when I was watching Jade Monkey's videos, or multiple videos of him saying he was 100% certain this, is going to work, it's not going to work. It's just down to the game developers now on who they can ban. Microsoft and Sony are pretty much fucking useless in this sense. So it's all down to the game developers, and no, if you're Zim or Zen, this isn't going to affect you, because as I've stated in a prior video and on my TikTok, link is in the description for that, basically someone used their controller and wired it towards the PlayStation DualShock and were able to play off that PlayStation controller. This is pretty much the same route that Zim and Zen go down, so they're undetected. And why I'm not totally convinced with the community servers is because I do believe there's people that, already moderating these servers that are cheating themselves. And whether they use it in for good or use it for bad, a lot of people could sit there as a cheater and be a moderator of these servers and be like, because I know what Zim looks like or I know what Zen looks like, I can easily ban these people and make the server as legit as possible. Or they could go the route of, I cheat, I'm not really going to do anything about the cheating unless it's brought to me, and if there is people that I know are cheating in this game, then they possibly will just let them you know, players. There will plenty of TikTokers out there that I see on servers that, you know, show on their TikToks or YouTube of them cheating, and they're still playing community servers. So there are some moderators out there that are just completely oblivious to certain players that are using these devices and have posted videos of them using it. So really, it's not only down to the server you're playing, it's just down to the admins, the moderators themselves, that they're educated in what they want the experience of their server to be. Do they want it to be a legit server, a roleplay server where if you're cheating it doesn't really matter, they're not going to do much about it, so they want PvP driven. So you're really going to have to think long and hard about these servers and admins you want to support with the community servers that are going to be coming out, I believe, at the end of this month or towards into December, with the hazmat skin coming, which we haven't really spoken about for a couple of weeks now. But yeah, the Xbox partner program, huge flop. Anyone that was probably saying, you know, this isn't really gonna, you know, do a damn thing to Zim and Zen, they are, you know, in their popcorn and laughing at us right now. I always tried to stay true on the fence and, you know, stayed there as long as I could, because I wanted to hope that this could fix it. But the age-old saying is, if something is too good to be true, it's usually not true. And in this case, it's not true, and it's not going to be true for however long. I don't think it's going to fix anything. Xbox are not going to fix anything. Sony not going to do anything. It's just to the game developers, and that doesn't put much confidence. You know, I'll say that lightly. It doesn't put much confidence in D11, because D11, as much as you could say they're slacking or they're going through false reports, whatever the reason is, they are slacking, and not in a, you know, maybe a disrespectful way. It's not a disrespectful way, just in general they're slacking with the bans. And I've, you know, offered my piece on what I would do. I mean, you don't obviously have to listen, but it's an idea to throw out there, where you look on TikTok on these images and hashtags for Rust Console, ban people via there. A lot of people cleared up easily. You'd have a field day. But because of the bans that have been going down on Rust Console, and the little I've seen from me personally, so obviously take it with a grain of salt, but it's not enough, which is why they're handing over a lot of the control to the admins, which you can go third and first person, which first person would probably be more Zim or Zen even, but third person you could easily see people just flicking with the mouse, so it'd be easier to tell if someone's Zen that way. It's just unfortunate that, you know, this is sad. A lot of creators were out there saying this was going to work, this was going to be the thing, and I just wanted to put the idea out there and say, you know, it could work. And I had faith in Microsoft for the sheer amount of money they have behind them, and obviously people that are good at their jobs, you'd hope, to put this thing to bed and do something about it, because it's their console. They'll be obviously able to do something, but it's down to two things. Is it detectable? No, but they probably will be able to detect it. I mean, it's Microsoft and Sony we're talking about, it's their consoles. And two, money. If they ban so many people, they're going to lose a lot of players on their games. And as well, if we're talking strictly Microsoft for a minute, the Game Pass hasn't been doing very well. Microsoft have been kind of voicing their opinions on how the Game Pass isn't selling, and they might be losing money. So why would they want to then ban people on devices or cheating, which would then still decrease their money, and they wouldn't get much from what they're doing? But that's the reality of it. It's sad, and I don't really know what else to say. I don't know if I would really want to cover it anymore, because unless something is being done by an admin or a mod that I'm seeing is doing good work, and I'm like, okay, fair enough, you're doing a really good job at sussing out these types of players and making a good server for yourself and the community, I don't know what else to say about the problem. You can only voice your opinions and see where that leads you, but it hasn't led me far. It's just a shame, because a lot of the community was riding on this idea of Rust Console being better again. But anyways, you're just gonna have to pick the server right for you, that have credible admins and moderators. You are gonna have people that cheat as mods or admins. I know, I'd like to think I know some already that, you know, I've seen in the past. I'm like, they're mods? Okay, that's interesting. So whether they're using it for good, or, you know, they're just playing and they've been given the role from a friend, I don't know. But what do you guys think? It's something that, you know, a lot of people, as I've said, were riding on the idea that this was going to fix everything, but it hasn't. And that's Microsoft for you. That's Microsoft, that's Sony. Money grabbing, do not care about the community. And at the end of the day, you either join them or you try and get better and better, depending on how long you play the game. But that's as much as I can cover. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. Follow my socials in the description. Thank you again, once again, for all the support you give me. And it's a dark day for legit players, I'll tell you that much. I'll see you in the next one.